Hi everyone, it's Caroline Quibell with roamingrv.com, and today we're going to talk about making the decision to become a full-time RVer. And I just want everyone to actually understand that it's not an easy decision, and it's not a decision that should be made carelessly. Personally, I'm all for it. I could do it for the rest of my life as long as I was healthy and able to do it. However, it's not for everyone. And I think what I'd like to do is make sure that everyone is aware of what you need to consider and think about. And you have to weigh the pros and cons, okay? There's a lot of things to consider. One is saying goodbye to family and friends who that maybe you see on a regular basis. And if you're traveling across the country or out of Canada, down into the United States, into Mexico, 4 or 5 months of the year, and then you're off on a jaunt somewhere else, you're not going to have the stability. And maybe that doesn't matter to you. Maybe you're perfectly okay with that. That's fine. But you need to consider that aspect of it. Think about it. Do you need the stability of a home to come back to? And how can you satisfy that? It may be a lot, it may be a house, it may be an apartment, it may be nothing. Maybe you don't need it, but you need to, everyone needs to give that some serious consideration. There's a lot of RVers out there who are full-timers that none of these things were an issue. But I just want to bring some of the things to your attention that you need to really think about. If it's one that really resonates with you and you really want to try it, don't write it off as something that's not worthwhile, something that no one will understand. Actually, more and more people are starting to understand it and want to do it. It's not like 15 years ago when I was talking about it originally. Everyone looked at me like I was crazy. That's not necessarily the case anymore. So, yeah, think about it. Now, it is normal and has expected to be a little hesitant before you take the plunge. So if you're riding the fence, here's a few tips maybe to help you decide if you're actually really ready for the life of a full-time RVer. Now, first of all, before we get into that, I just want to stress, this is a lifestyle choice. It's not, you're not on a vacation. What it means is your home is on wheels. It's mobile, it's transient, you're all over the place. You still cook your meals, you still have the same interests, you probably still do the same routines. It's just that you're mobile, and maybe your living room is in a different location every few days or once a month, whatever. So really understand what full-time RVing is. So some of the suggestions that I would make is join some of the RV forums. There's all kinds of them out there. RV Village is one, is excellent. There's a group for absolutely every interest for both Canadian and American. RVVillage.com, I think it is. Anyway, spend some time on the forums, the blogs, social media platforms that are focusing on full-time RVing. Ask questions, get involved. RVers are a friendly bunch. They have no problem helping you or someone who is curious or interested and has some concerns. They'll help alleviate those concerns, or they'll tell you, yeah, you've got some serious issues that you need to consider and it may not be for you. So really get involved in the RV community. One thing you also have to be aware of, when you're in an RV, you're in a very limited space, okay? It's like being on a desert island with another person if you are traveling with a partner. You know, we all need some privacy. You have to consider that how you are going to get along 24 hours a day with this person. How are you going to satisfy any need that you might have for privacy? How are you going to do it? Are you going to be able to sit outside, go and read a book somewhere, under a tree, go for a walk? How are you going to manage any need for privacy that you may have? So think about that, okay? And also think about your significant other. Be considerate of their need for privacy. You know, there's all kinds of ways of getting involved with other people. If you're in RV parks that have amenities, take advantage of them. Go for a swim, go sit in the clubhouse and do a puzzle or whatever. Try it out before you commit. Transitioning to a life on the road can be really liberating. And I find people do it, and the first few months they're just traveling all over the place, okay? Because they think that they have to do everything all at once, but you don't have to. But in order to decide whether this is for you, take a 3 or 4 month trip. Try it out. See whether you like it. Come up with some of your questions, some of the concerns that you may have during that 3 or 4 months. A lengthy trip will give you some really good insight into how you manage together, how you're going to manage your budget, how you're going to choose your destination, where you're going to stay, all kinds of stuff. And so it's actually a really good idea to give it a try. Just do a trial run, okay? You may find that your budget isn't adequate and you have to try and come up with means of paying for this. Do you have to work? Do you have to put your plans off for maybe a year or 6 months or 2 years? Whatever it is, this trial run will give you an opportunity to answer some of your questions, and it may also create more questions, okay? Full-time RVing is not for everybody, and I think sometimes that's difficult to accept if your partner or your traveling companion or your spouse, you find that it's not for them. And that's a really hard thing. If that's something that you've been wanting to do forever and you give it a try and all of a sudden your partner says, no, that's not for me. I'm not going to do it. However, that's something that you're going to have to deal with, how you're going to handle it between the two of you. That we'll save that for another day, but just take into consideration that just because these dreams are yours of being a full-time RVer does not necessarily mean that they're the other person's. And how are you going to manage that? However, on the other side of the fence, if both of you are really excited and give it a try and you go out on a trial run for a few months and you kind of iron out the differences and difficulties and figure out a strategy and you're all excited about it, go for it. Full-time RVing is a beautiful lifestyle for those who have an itch to wander, who look and want to see new things, experience new things, meet new people. Then my recommendation, if you're at halfway thinking about it, give it a try. What have you got to lose? Okay, most people I know who actually start full-time RVing wish they had started earlier. Okay, those who have decided that they're getting to the stage in their life where they have to hang up their keys, they're so glad that they experienced it, that they jumped in and gave it a try and took advantage of their opportunities. So on that note, I'll leave you for today. So once again, it's Caroline Quibell. I'm with roamingrv.com, and we're talking about full-time RVing. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye now.